All right, yesterday I discussed Team Canada for the World Junior Championship. Today we are going to discuss Team USA. And while Team USA doesn't quite have the wow factor, the star power of Canada, they're going to give Canada a hard time because it's what happens when the USA and Canada are against each other and they both have very good rosters, which the USA does. Now, there are some players as well playing for USA, like I mentioned for Canada, who would be playing in the NHL right now if we had hockey games going on right now in the National Hockey League. And there's only two players that are undrafted on the entire roster. Now, there aren't as many first rounders, but there are a lot of second rounders and some mid-round guys that may end up being steals. So the first thing of note is this is a team that there's a lot more 2019 picks, it feels like, than there were in the one yesterday from Canada. So we'll see how maturity factors in and how the U.S. does. Matthew Bernier is alphabetically the top guy for the forwards, and he is draft eligible in 2021. So again, we'll see how much he can impress the scouts. The scouts aren't going to get to see draft eligible players nearly as much this year as they would in a normal year. So the pressure's on for guys who might be in this tournament that are undrafted to really show what they can do. Brett Berard, a New York Rangers draft pick in 2020. Matthew Boldy, first round pick of the almost said Minnesota North Stars. It's that yellow and green jersey. It just makes me think. Go back to North Stars. Minnesota Wild drafted him first round 2019, and so far has looked very good since the draft. Bobby Brink, Philadelphia draft pick in 2019. He didn't end up being a first rounder because Boston didn't take him. I wanted Bobby Brink of the Boston Bruins. Is what I wanted. It doesn't sound right with Philadelphia Flyers. It's too bad. It's just too bad. Move along. Brendan Brisson, Vegas Golden Knights first round draft pick in 2020 again. Should have been drafted by the Boston Bruins. But hey. They didn't have a chance to draft him. Cole Caulfield, Montreal picked him in the first round in 2019. So Montreal fans, you will get a chance to see the goal-scoring ability of Caulfield, which is supposed to be fantastic. So we'll see how he does. Sam Colangelo, Anaheim's draft pick in 2020. John Farinacci was drafted by Arizona in 2019. Arthur Kaliev, drafted in 2019 by the LA Kings. What's interesting with Kaliev is he was seen as likely being a first-round pick and instead ended up going in the second round, so he slid a little bit, and we'll see how he does in this tournament. Patrick Moynihan was drafted by New Jersey last year, 2019. Landon Slaggert was drafted by Chicago this year, 2020. Alex Turcotte. So if you're looking for more star power in this tournament, Alex Turcotte, LA Kings 2019 first-round draft pick, who likely would be with the Kings right now if they were playing. And Trevor Zegras, first-round pick of the Anaheim Ducks. They're counting on him this year, and so 2019 he was a first-round pick. So you have 1, 2, 3. You can put together a pretty decent top 6 out of some of these guys here. I think the U.S. will be able to score goals pretty well with anybody. I think Canada has more scoring ability here, but yeah. On the blue line, Brock Faber, who was a draft pick of the Kings in 2020. So if you're a fan of the Kings or the Ducks, you're going to love this tournament. If the U.S. does well. Drew Hellison, Colorado draft pick in 2019. Ryan Johnson, Buffalo's 2019 first-round pick, and by first round I mean he was 31st overall. He was the draft pick they got in the Ryan O'Reilly deal. So no pressure, kid. You're the one that's going to decide whether St. Louis won this draft by a little bit, or that trade by a little bit, or a lot. Tyler Clevin, who was drafted by Ottawa this year. Jackson Lacombe, drafted by Anaheim last year. Jake Sanderson, first-round draft pick for the Ottawa Senators, who was off to a great start in the NCAA, and now he gets to show why they drafted him 5th overall in this tournament. So Sanderson could very well end up being on that power play. Hunter Skinner, New York Rangers draft pick last year. If Hunter Skinner's NHL career doesn't work out, might I suggest NASCAR? It just sounds like a NASCAR. It sounds like a NASCAR name. Just throwing that out there. Henry Thrun, who was drafted by Anaheim last year. So again, Anaheim, 3, 4 picks by Anaheim. LA, you've got 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So California team's well represented on this team. And Cam York, Philadelphia 2019 first round draft pick, and Flyers fans are excited about what he may bring to the roster sooner, they would hope, rather than later. And then in goal, they also have 2 drafted goalies, including a first-round draft pick in Spencer Knight, who was drafted in the first round by Florida last year. Logan Stein, undrafted. Dustin Wolf, Calgary, 2019 draft pick. Now, the U.S. roster was affected by the COVID positive test that showed up that ended up making a couple of players ineligible. But despite that, this is a pretty solid team. This is a team that should threaten for maybe a medal. And it'll be interesting to see with Dustin Wolf, too, his Calgary property, him and Knight as first and second goalie, which one ends up outperforming which. Wolf may very well end up being a steal for Calgary from the late rounds. We'll see. This is a very talented team. It's a deep team. And, yeah, so there you go. Team USA looks solid. Eventually, at some point in time, I do believe we'll reach an age where there are just as many, if not more, top-notch American players in the NHL as there are Canadian players. We're not there yet, but I think eventually we get there. But hey, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.